Hi, this is Dr. Christy, and if you don't know me, I'm a board-certified urologist, urogynecologist, I'm a surgeon, I have my own practice, and I'm an Orthodox Christian, and I believe in the power of God and that He is working in and through us all the time, whether we realize it or not. I'm in a Facebook group called Physician Community, and there are tens of thousands, if not 100,000 members in this Facebook group, and all kinds of topics are talked about, questions, sharing stuff clinically and about practicing medicine, all kinds of stuff. Anyway, so last year someone posted, have you ever seen a miracle in your medical career? And you would not believe how many people reported on miracles, people from all over the country, all over the world. And so I thought it'd be really edifying to share that with you. So I'm going to do this every week. I'm going to share a couple of these miracles with you, and hopefully it'll be encouraging. And I've seen miracles in my own practice where I've seen patients healed, things that looked very serious that they ended up being completely cured from. And it's very encouraging when you realize that God really cares, that He's really involved, and He's right here with us. So this first one is Dr. Vimela Gonzalez, and she said, my best friend got triple negative breast cancer while pregnant. That is a very serious form of breast cancer, and you can't really do chemotherapy when you're pregnant. 2 years later, she had a lung mass highly suspicious for metastatic breast cancer. She's not even a smoker. The oncologist suggested hospice if this was metastatic disease, meaning like there's nothing we can do for you. She underwent a biopsy and it was a primary lung cancer. It wasn't metastatic disease, not related to the breast cancer. She had a resection of the mass and was cured. She is alive, healthy, cancer-free, and they just celebrated the baby's 6-year-old birthday. That's amazing. Here's another one from Dr. Jen Stroud. She says, in residency, I had a 13-year-old who herniated her brain after a ruptured brain aneurysm. So she had a bleed in her brain, and the brain just started to get pushed down towards the spinal column. She was at the dinner table with her 8-year-old sister when it happened, and the sister called the parents before 911, so it was a while before she got help. This doctor says, I was in the pediatric ICU when she was first admitted, and we had the talk with the family that she was unlikely to survive, and if she did, she would likely be permanently neurologically devastated. Probably unable to walk or talk or be, aware of what's going on. She transferred to the rehab facility on my last day of pediatric ICU, and she was talking. I rotated through the rehab facility a few months later, and she was walking, talking, and telling jokes. Her short-term memory was a little iffy, but she was almost back to her normal self. That's an amazing miracle, she had literally a major brain event and totally recovered. And here's a reply. Dr. Chris Lee said, Jen Stroud, I had a similar story with a 45-year-old prolonged code after anaphylaxis, at which time he crashed his car. So this 45-year-old had an allergic reaction, crashed his car, and then they did CPR and coded him for a long time. Multiple trauma, including traumatic brain injury, questionable anoxic injury, lack of oxygen to the brain, grade 4 liver laceration, grade 4 spleen laceration, lung contusions, multiple extremity fractures. He spent weeks in the traumatic ICU, and I sat by his bed every single night, is what Dr. Lee said. Dr. Lee prayed for him. His kids made posters and hung them around his room. And his wife sung old hymns to him. This is choking me up a little bit. I remember putting a sign on his door that said, don't turn, don't bathe, for days, because every time the nurses would move him, he would code. His heart would stop. He was on the oscillator for weeks. That's like a machine that shakes him to keep the lungs healthy. He was the fastest bronchoscopy I had ever done in surgery residency because I was terrified he would die. I visited him the next year as he was leaving rehab, and he was super thin but alive, and brain was working well as far as we could tell. He should not have survived his injuries, but I got to witness the miracle. I think about him often when the job becomes mundane or I lose focus of what God called me to do. To me, his story feels like the whisper of the divine in the world. Isn't that beautiful? Wow, that's very moving. God is good. He loves you. He loves the world so much. And he's working. So never give up hope, no matter what's going on with you or people you love.